Hello everyone, I'm Chris with Central Michigan Sewing Supplies. We're here in our shop in Osprey, Florida. Today I have a Kenmore Model 158.320, also referred to as the Model 32. These machines were heavy duty, all cast iron body, all metal parts. They had the large 1.2 amp motor, made in Japan. These were very high quality machines. Today I want to show you how to replace the belt on this machine. This is a customer's machine, and she brought it in for servicing. It hasn't sewed in a number of years, so the feed mechanism, feed dogs were not working properly. It was not feeding material. It was froze up in the stitch length mechanism. We were able to take it apart and get that freed up, which is common with these machines that have sat for a number of years. Today I want to show you how to replace the belt on these. Originally, and I'm pretty certain this is the original belt that's on the machine, they would have had a black V belt. It's about a 14.5-inch belt, and those are no longer available today. There is a couple of black V belts that will work for these machines. One of the things is these were a little narrower belt than a standard belt. The standard lug belts, a lot of the belts today are 6 millimeter. These were a 5 millimeter wide. So what we have today for replacement for these is the double-sided lug belt. This is part number 6912, also known as DP 6912. It's sold under a couple of different part numbers. We use 6912. Couple of things when changing your motor belt, and this goes really for any machine. You don't want to over tighten them. I can't stress this enough. A sewing machine belt is designed to run as loose as possible without slipping. If you get them too tight, it'll cause a number of problems. It creates a bind between the hand wheel and the motor. You'll wear them motor bushings out fast. You can also put a bind on the hand wheel and the clutch won't work. It won't disengage. And you can see right now, even this one, it's disengaged. It's about adjusted just about right. It's better to have to adjust them a couple of times to get them to that spot than it is to get them over tight. If you have to over tighten a machine, a belt to get the machine to work, something's going on. The machine's gummed up. It needs to be cleaned. The internal mechanisms. So let's get started on this. I'm also going to oil these motors. They used oil, and you can see the red dots there. And we're going to oil the motor too while we're at it. A lot of times this motor mount bolt is really tight, and that is a 12 millimeter. So 12 millimeter wrench and a good screwdriver or some type of good adjustable wrench, and you can usually get that off just fine. Loosen her up, pull your belt off. With these, you don't have to take the hand wheel off. There's enough room. If you just lift up a little bit on the bobbin winder, you can slide that belt right out of there. This would have been the original, I'm pretty certain. And they were a black V belt. This one we're going to put on it is part number 6912. And this is what they call a double-sided lug belt. And these are a little bit narrower than a standard lug belt. In Kenmore, I believe Kenmore was the first one to use a style belt. A lot of their 1970s machines has the black double-sided lug belt, and I've always really liked these belts with that extra cutout on this back side. It just goes around that bottom pulley so much better than a standard lug belt. So if you can, I always try to use these. Some of the machines you can't. You got to go with a single-sided lug belt. They do work. It takes a little bit more to get them adjusted and get them working properly, but once you seat them in, they'll work fine. But today we're going to use the double-sided lug. Same thing. If you just pull up on your bobbin winder a little bit, get it in the belt groove on the hand wheel, and then into the small pulley, the belt groove there. Make sure you got your slot right on your mount. Don't tighten it at this point. Just get it so it's set. Yep, it's locked in there. That's probably just a little bit tight. That's going to be real close right there, but we won't know until we run it a couple times. I'm not going to over tighten this bolt at this time because I'll run it, but that's pretty close. You're looking at about 3/16 of play in that, but it's not binding anything. That should work real well. And since we're here, I'm going to oil the motor. I should have done it before I put the belt on, because you don't want to get oil on the belt or on the hand wheel or motor pulley. But what we'll do is there's two red dots on the end of the motor. There's a red dot right there on the end of the motor shaft side, and then there's another one right there. This is where these little pinpoint oilers come in real handy, because you only want just a drop in there. Don't over oil these. It's really best too if you can tip it up. That way you can be pretty precise with where you're getting your oil. Just one drop. And then wipe off any excess on that. It's better to oil more often with a little bit than not so often with a lot. Same thing, I like to tip them up. One drop. And then again, wipe off any excess. I should have done that. It's best to do that when you got the belt off, but that's okay. Okay, perfect. What a tank. These things are an absolute beast. All cast iron body. All the parts on this are all metal, and properly maintained, these machines will last a long time. This machine hasn't seen a lot of use, and I can tell for a few reasons. The bed just isn't scratched up or marred up. Also, I'm pretty sure that's the original needle plate, and there's very, very little needle marks on it. So, and then also on these, if you're looking for the model number on these, it's on this tag right here. This has got the model number and the serial number. Your manual will probably refer to it as a model 32, but it was the complete model number is 158.320. And there was a whole series of these machines. I think there was a 158.321, but there were several of these, this style in this series, and most all of them use that same 6912 belt. And we will leave the link to the belt in the description. And if you have any questions, please contact us. And we sure appreciate you watching our video, and we'd like to thank you for that. And if you like vintage sewing machines, please consider subscribing.